Hello, I want to show you how to use the EE-Web scientific calculator. It's really easy, and it's one of the few calculators online that will do things in scientific notation easily. So let's take a look. I will pull up that scientific calculator for you. Here it is. The address for this is eeweb.com/tools/online-scientific-calculator. And here is the EE-Web scientific calculator. Now, the first thing we want to do is to put that into scientific notation. We want to be able to use scientific notation and not standard notation. So we're going to go up here to the very top, and this blue rectangle is outlining STD for standard notation. I'm going to click that twice, 1, 2, and now it's in scientific notation. Now, how is scientific notation shown? You're used to scientific notation being a number like 2 times 10 to the third power. But in this calculator, instead of writing times 10 to the power of 3, you write 2EE3 for 2 times 10 to the power of 3. So let's see how to do that. If I click 2, I click the EE key, and that means times 10 to the power of, and then the 3, and that is 2 times 10 to the third power. And you can see here, it's just a single number, and every time you see the E there, that just means times 10 to the power of. So for instance, if I want to multiply 2 times 10 to the third power, and I want to multiply that by, so I'm going to multiply by another number. I'll click the multiply key. That shows up as a little star. And I multiply that times 3 times 10 to the 5th. So I multiply by 3, click the double E key, that puts in the times 10 to the power of sign, and there's 5. So this is 2 times 10 to the third power multiplied times 3 times 10 to the 5th power. I click the equal sign, and there's my number. There's my answer, 6 times 10 to the 8th power. Now, you can also divide. I could take 5 times 10 to the 8th power, 5E8, and divide that by, click the divided by sign up there, 4 times 10 to the third power. And if I do that, I click equals, and there's my answer, 1.25 times 10 to the 5th. So you can do all sorts of things on this calculator. And here's something cool. Now that you have this answer, what if you just wanted to multiply it times 2? Well, all you have to do is press the multiply key, and what shows up here is answer times. So whenever you just press a key, it takes your previous answer and then does whatever you're going to do to it. In this case, I'm going to multiply it times 3. Press the equal sign, and I get my answer. So that's the previous answer. The one up here, 1.25 times 10 to the 5th, multiplied times 3 gives me 3.75 times 10 to the 5th power. Now, there are other things you can do on the calculator, but really, addition, subtraction, multiplying, and dividing are about the only things that you're going to want to do in this course. There will be a case where you have to take a square root. And if I want to take the square root of, let's say, 48, what is the square root of 48? I go over to the square root sign, press that, I put in my number 48. I have to put in a closing parenthesis because here's an opening parenthesis. I need a closing parenthesis, so I'll press that. Then I press equals. And there's my square root of 48 is 6.928 times 10 to the 0, which is just 1. Now, if you're ever concerned that you're reading the powers of 10 right, you can always go back to standard notation for the answers you already have. And to do that, you just go up here to the button. Remember at the beginning, you changed that from standard to psi for scientific notation. Now I'm going to press this twice and go back to standard. So there's 1, 2, and I'm back in standard notation. And here are those numbers written out in full. Now, if I want to go back into scientific notation, press that twice again. 1, 2. Pretty easy. If I want a number that's squared, say I wanted to know what 87 squared was, so I'll enter 87. Now I hit the x squared key, equals. That tells me the answer is 7.569 times 10 to the third power. And again, if I press psi twice, I can see what that is just in standard notation. Now, standard notation is nice for small numbers, but in astronomy, we're going to use really big numbers. And so sometimes you're going to need the scientific notation. And that is just about everything that you're going to need. So I hope you'll give this little calculator a try. It's really very nice. And let me know if you have any problems at all with it. Bye-bye.